Dragon Ball FighterZ is a game that celebrates some of the most iconic characters in animation history. It gathers a collection of moments, memories, and story beats that span through generations. While this roster popularity certainly contributed to the game's longevity and global success, it's fair to say that some characters shine brighter than others. Whether it's their placement on a tier list or their in-universe accomplishments that drive their popularity, there's no denying that the online environment is filled with familiar and sometimes repetitive faces. First and foremost, I'd like to thank the hard work of Cake Gaming 85 for spending an exorbitant amount of time compiling this list for the sake of science. I'll link him in the description down below so you can follow him on Twitter and thank him personally. Second, the data currently on screen comes with two caveats. It takes into account character prevalence within the top 100 ranked players, and it's limited to the PC community. Now, while it does exclude the other three console versions of the game, it does still fit specifically into the academic requirements necessary for statistical data. Taking Cake Gaming's list into consideration, which characters appeared the most often among the roster? Because this sampled the top 100 ranked players, it's safe to say that their collective time online combined is an appropriate indicator of relevance and relativity. Truly the grindiest among us, not looking at you, hide-gacked. Rage quitters get wrecked, offenders get banned. So, I'm the Dr. Blue, and these are the top 5 most popular characters in Dragon Ball FighterZ. Number 5, Goku Blue. Goku Blue is an exceptionally popular character within the source material, as early on in Dragon Ball Super's lifespan, our seminal protagonist surpassed his Red Ki God form and obtained the Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan persona that he donned most often in the anime. For the majority of Fighter's lifespan, he sat in the middle of the pack in terms of viability, but recently in Season 3 with the addition of viable assist options, meter resources, and exploration, the characters experience a meteoric rise in popularity. Now, he's most often compared to Base Vegeta, and while they do share similarities, excellent Ki Blast, EX side switches, iconic loops, he certainly has aspects that make him shine as a unique character. Perhaps his most popular representative lately has been Hook Gang God, ranked the 6th strongest player in Dragon Ball FighterZ in the recent Panda Global Countdown, and paired with Hook's growing popularity on platforms such as Twitch and YouTube, it's no wonder Goku Blue finds himself in the top 5 most popular characters currently in the game. And with only 1 or 2 minor buffs, I firmly believe that Goku Blue can be among the best this game has to offer. Number 4, Base Vegeta. What more can be said about Base Vegeta on this channel? We've covered his various loop options, spent a majority of our Season 2 ranked footage with him as our point character, and even broke him down to a mechanical level with our very first Rhythmic Theory guide. Put simply, I'm one of his biggest fans and earliest proponents. Strangely, seeing him go from zero to hero in the matter of 2 seasons has been an experience of simultaneous, I knew it, and oh no, I'm part of a bandwagon. However, can you really blame anyone for playing this excellent character? He excels in the neutral, he provides amazing point coverage for almost every team, and he has some of the more damaging routes of anyone on the roster. Additionally, with only a few brain-dead options in his toolkit, well, at least relative to the higher members on this list, he's considerably more honest than his co-top tier breadwinners. And while we don't use him as often on the channel currently, there's nothing quite like coming home and looping a few fellas to reinstill why I love this game so much. Style, substance, and attitude. That's what you'll get when you main the number 4 spot on this list. Number 3, GT Goku. Admittedly, this one surprised me because post-season 2 nerfs, this character seemingly fell off the radar. He received a reduction to some of his most coveted options, Spirit Bomb Oki, Snap Mix to name a few, and many players ran for the hills in hopes for a stronger representative among the new system mechanics and added assist options the rest of the cast had to offer. However, GT is still considerably strong. His EX options are among the better in the game, and he has access to excessive amounts of damage, and can still pull off double supers as well with the correct setups. Additionally, I'd be hard-pressed to disagree that his popularity isn't tied to him being the only representative currently of Dragon Ball GT's era. With considerable distance between the show and mainstream consciousness, it's begun to be viewed more fondly in the light of nostalgia than it was upon its initial release. Fingers crossed that we get an additional GT representative in the form of one of the more iconic villains from the franchise. Personally, I'm holding out for Baby Vegeta. Give me that sweet golden Uzaru. Number 2, Bardock. Considering Bardock has been lauded as top 5 since his initial release, is it really surprising he snagged the number 2 spot on this list? Bardock is a character that not only plays Dragon Ball FighterZ exceptionally well, but truly shaped the meta across multiple seasons. It doesn't hurt that the character is a constant representative of Team Goichi, potentially the greatest fighters player of all time and current world champion. Where Bardock lacks in Ki Blast, he makes up for it in almost every other aspect of the game. He's a stagger king. He has both non-sparking and sparking loops. He has consistent two-touch scenarios, incredible pressure, and mix-up with the right assist, and simply remains unnerfable. His consistency across the game's lifespan has been called into question more than once, yet this can be attributed directly to his popularity rather than his core mechanics. Because he's so often used at a high level, people falsely believe they've seen all this character has to offer, and that couldn't be further from the truth. In the right hands, this character has every tool necessary to mix you for days. Now, till this day, people are pushing the envelope with Goku's dad, because he's not only the second most popular character in the game currently, he's a consistent pioneer for the entire FighterZ meta, structure, and community. Now, before we reveal the number 1 spot, let's talk about some honorable mentions. Easily, this could have been a top 10, so I'd like to reveal the remaining 5 to you now while only focusing on a few. In descending order from 10 to 6, we have Z Broly and Kid Buu, both tied with 11 representatives, Yamcha and Trunks both tied with 12, and Perfect Cell coming in at 16 total. As you hear these numbers, it's easy to understand just how tight this race is. And while it's likely the top 100 ranked players probably have side teams experimenting specifically with these characters, when you take into account the extremely high representation of the top 3 on this list, it becomes no competition at all. So while I won't attest to the entire top 10, I'd like to talk about Z Broly and Perfect Cell specifically. Z Broly has consistently topped each video we've released where we take into account busted mechanics, anti-zoning abilities, etc. So it's rather surprising to see him only at the number 10 spot. Truly, if there was a meta shaping around Season 3, it's Z Broly centric, as he's incredibly persistent, has phenomenal pressure, and simply plays the game at a higher level thanks to system mechanic changes that came with the initial balance patch in Season 3. Perfect Cell is no surprise to me at all, however, as this character is an absolute unit. Surely, people have never washed the taste of the Season 1 nerfs out of their system, because with the removal of fuzzies in Season 3 and the addition of half-off EX moves, this character is more mobile, intimidating, and downright destructive than ever. He's S+ tier in my opinion, and all you'd have to do to agree with me is take him into the lab, observe his frame data, and get lost in his multiple mix-up options. So with all of that out of the way, let's talk about the number 1 most popular character in Dragon Ball FighterZ, UI Goku. Ultra Instinct Goku has been making waves since its initial launch. Many, including Goichi, labeled him as top 3 in the game, and for good reason. He has every option you'd want in a top tier and then some. A level 2 super, ambiguous setups, devastating damage, dastardly resets, and not to mention his preposterous auto combo. On top of it all, he's also the most powerful form of the game's most popular protagonist. It's no secret that power sells DLC, as the urge to live vicariously through our favorite characters is something even the most staunch adults never outgrow. UI Goku represented a perfect storm. He launched to near universal acclaim, he excelled in all aspects of the game, and his inclusion came at a time where the majority of the fanbase was entering and coping with the initial stages of a global shutdown. Perhaps he'll be on the receiving end of nerfs in the upcoming patch, but with 100 of the world's top ranked players surveyed, almost 40% of them had the character on their roster. For comparison, that's more than the bottom 14 characters combined. And while he is the bane of many players' online experience, there's no denying that he's currently the most popular character in Dragon Ball FighterZ. And that's our list. If you enjoy these top 5 breakdowns and you have an idea that you'd like to see make it into a video format, if I like it and I end up making the video, hell, I'll give you a shout out. Now, as for everybody else, I have been the Dr. Blue. You're incredible. Please like, share, and subscribe. It truly helps the channel, and I love what I do. I love that you're here for it. So for now, enjoy the video, check out the rest of them, and peace.